Hey guys, day off again from the Ferrisman's Welcome Home show. And the group I'm talking about now are some of the most important people that are within the staff as far as security, and that is the red shirts. The red shirts are made up of volunteers, of people that will go around the grounds and just make sure that everything is going appropriately. They're kind of an inner policing of just really good people and men and women that come and volunteer their time to make sure that we can all have a great time. So these are some interviews with some people that we did obviously in the 50th year anniversary. So I hope you enjoy them and talk to you next time.
What comes to mind when you think of the Kerrville Folk Festival?
It makes me think immediately about family. Everybody here is real close, and I don't get to see them all the time, but when I do, it's just, it's really wonderful. It makes me feel like I'm at home.
Bring you back.
My first year was 2015, and it was funny because I'd never been here before, but I'd lived here for 3 years prior, and I came on a free night. I saw Ruthie Foster, and as soon as her set was over, I went straight and volunteered, and I've been back ever since. I've been here 7 years, and I keep coming back because I'm at home and I'm here.
Favorite memory?
My favorite memory here was just here recently. I ran into one of the first members that had 50 years, and he talked my ear off for 2.5 hours. And now every time I see him, he has to stop no matter what he's doing, unless he's playing music, give me a hug, and walk and talk with me for a while. So that's probably my favorite memory, and it's continuing every year. So. My advice would be to at least come out and try it. Try to get rid of some of your stereotype feelings and your ideas of what this is supposed to be, and just come in and see what it really is. And I think they'll be back.
Artists that you've seen?
Well, I've seen a lot of them, that's for sure, and a lot of them are pretty nice. But I do have to say Ruthie Foster, because she's the reason that I stayed at the ranch, and she's the reason I keep coming back, because she's usually here every year. So yeah, that's her.
Is there anything you'd like to add? Just sort of tell folks about just anything else, any kind of advice, or just.
All I can say is that I didn't have any idea about this place, and then when I got here, now I can't get it out of my blood. It calls to me, so hopefully it'll call to them too. So they should at least try it once before they die.
All right, give me your name.
What comes to mind first when you think of the Kerrville Folk Festival?
The overwhelming sense of family here. There's a lot of it. I was messed up.
Stop. Cut. How many years have you been coming? And what compels you to return?
I've been coming for 5.5 years.
Okay.
And I do this all year round, so this is my life. I come back.
Next one. What is your favorite memory you would like to share, or miraculous moment of when things just lined up and were super special? Just one instance you could share with us.
Well, one night, I forgot his name. He was going on, someone's gonna worship the devil tonight. And then early the next morning, I hear someone yell out, "Hail Satan." And it was just amazing. It was like 8:30 in the morning.
What was an artist you've seen or an instance that really captivated you? Just name drop.
The first time Shiny Ribs played on stage.
What was so big about that?
Well, he had a 2-hour encore.
What did you like about the encore?
He grabbed so many more of his songs. They were getting more into it, there were more people dancing. Of course, people going up and getting beer, people getting more wasted. But yeah, felt like 2 o'clock, Shiny Earth was over. It's fun.
Nice.
What advice would you give to somebody that's never been before?
Always carry a cup. Pretty much. We have victims everywhere.
What about Nerf? You would say carry your Nerf?
Carry your Nerf gun.
Always be prepared for shenanigans.
Okay, and can you please state your name for the camera?
My given name is John Ellis. I'm called Ghost out here.
All right. How long have you been coming to the Kerrville Folk Festival?
If they had it every year, this would have been my 11th.
Okay, and what keeps you coming back?
This place gave me my life back.
How was your life taken from you?
Long story short, I had an aggressive growth in my head. I had to go through 2 brain surgeries, 6 months of radiation. When I got here 11 years ago, I was dying. I found out about it because I moved here to take care of my mom. And when I get here, the whole time I'm wondering how am I going to do that. But I found medicine here that's better than what I was getting where I was living. And instead of having 20 plus seasons a day, I was having 5 or 6. So I come out here and volunteer, and I work the same night. I kept coming and kept coming. I do other festivals now. I was real bummed when we didn't have my 10th year, but oh well. So this year's my 10th. But I'm going, oh, how'd I get my name?
Yes.
I'm working 2 years overnight theater by myself. When I got here, I was pretty much dying, like I said. My skin was a grayish green. Little kids would look at me and they would run away screaming. Seriously. Okay? So I'm doing this job, and all of a sudden, the vendors just start calling me Gray Guys. Well, years have gone by, I've gotten healthier, the gray green has gone away, and people just started calling me Ghost.
All right. Well, I'm glad for that. What within the 50th year anniversary, what would you say was the highlight between either Big Folk or Little Folk Fall Fest, where we're at right now?
Well, my problem is I love them both. I like the hustle and bustle of Big Folk. I like the music at night of Big Folk, but I also like the calmness of Little Folk. You know, Big Folk, I do a job that's from midnight to 8 a.m. I listen to music till 7 a.m., from midnight to 7 a.m. I'm on call. I
Right.
just carry a radio and go do my job when I get called. So, you know, I can listen to music from midnight till about 5:30, go to Chapel Hill, listen to music for another hour, go eat breakfast, check out, go to bed.
Pretty good routine.
Yeah.
Well, what would you give yourself as advice to, if you could go back to the you before you came, what advice would you give yourself, or what advice would you give someone else who hasn't been to the Kerrville Folk Festival?
Come young when you're healthy and strong.
So, most definitely.
This is very hard on the body when you're my age.
Well, they talk about a lot of magic that happens on the ranch.
Well, there is magic.
Well, what type of magic have you seen happen, other than the fact of obviously what it was able to do for you, but what other type of...
I haven't seen any of the real magic. From what I understand, we have a couple ghosts. I haven't seen it yet. We have a couple fairies. I haven't seen that either yet. But it's okay. Maybe I'm not supposed to. It's the people that come. That's the magic.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Ghost. And is there anything you'd like to tell people before we wrap this up?
This is the best kept secret in Texas. I didn't learn about it until I was in my 50s. If you were smart, you learned about it.
Thanks, Ghost. All right, can you please tell me your name
John Stetson.
And-
the hat.
and what you go by out here at the
I
ranch?
don't have a current name. Stetson works well out here,
Stetson? Okay.
and every time we can hear his name John, but I never inherited a current name.
Okay, all right. Well, how long have you been coming to Kerrville? And when was your first year?
First year I came was 85. Just a friend told me about it, a colleague, and we both worked for tech companies, and she moved to a different tech company down here, and then my company moved down here as well. And all I knew about it was it happened around Kerrville on Memorial Day weekend.
Okay.
So I just came down on my motorcycle for one day, not prepared to camp or anything, and then went back that night. But then the next year I knew how things worked, and the next year I was prepared.
Excellent. And so have you, what is the one thing that makes you always want to be coming back, John?
Well, I've written songs for a long time, so I've always been plugged into that. I've always been, as a songwriter, amateur, not professional by any means, but I've always been interested in the songwriter as opposed to necessarily the song performer that you would hear on the radio performing somebody else's song. And so understanding that that is the essence or concentration of here, this is a songwriting community, that's what attracted me. Over the years I've made lots of friends here, good friends.
Excellent. Well, within the 50th year, whether it be big folk or little folk, what has been one of the most outstanding moments that you can remember right now?
A lot of good song shows. A lot of people, a lot of performers who have come back specifically for the 50th anniversary who haven't been here in a while. Cozy Sheridan, was that last night? This weekend anyway, is an example of that. So it has been, I can't pick one particular thing out, I guess, but it has just been a very nice feel. It's a little bit, it's lower key because of the recovery period of the pandemic, etc.
Right.
But something that's nice for the regulars.
Right. It's kind of like, okay, let's get everything geared up for 51 kind of thing.
Yeah, when things generate.
Exactly. Well, John, what is, as I've been doing these documentary interviews, everybody talks about the Kerr Magic. What is a Kerr Magic story that can be within a year that just stands out in your mind?
Well, all of my kids have been here as babies. I have 5. They all cut their teeth on rocks in the meadow. And the magic for me has been when they come back this year, none of them were able to come for big folk, and one who's leaving directly, she's packing up now, was the only one who came back for little folk. But that was beautiful being here yesterday with her and having at least one be able to make it this year.
Well, I was lucky. I was able to have my dad and my son come with me this year. So I was able to, I understand and very understanding and empathetic with where is you go on that. Well, John,
sorry.
Go ahead.
Dale, if we don't incorporate the younger ones, the thing will just die off because we're aging out. So.
Well, and that's exactly what this is for, is to be able to go, and that's why I only want to do it from the 50th anniversary, is because I want to go and allow this to go to that next level of kids that were like us, that were in the things that we were in, and get to them. That way we have the right group back.
And the other thing about that with the kids is, this is the essence of it takes a village. You know, when they're young, there really isn't that much they can get into trouble with, and everybody looks out for them. You know, the odd fire ant or cactus. But other than that, you know, they can just let them loose and be happy about their being safe.
Well, John, what is one thing that you would like to tell your pre-Kerrville self of information you know now that would be the most imperative thing for a young John or somebody new that's never been before?
Don't hold back. If you let it out, whatever it is you want to do, creatively or just gregariously, just immersing yourself in the community and being a part of it. Whether you're an introvert, extrovert, whatever it is, you can find a group, a family here that will affiliate with you and understand and accept and embrace whatever it is you bring to the party.
Excellent. And is there anything you'd like to tell anybody about coming out to Kerrville? Is there any last words of wisdom you could express?
Do it. It's the best money you ever spent, and I guarantee you will come back. If you come the first time, you will come back.
Excellent.